Hello, I'm Brett Moss, and you're watching The Defining Moment for Creating the Culture of Conscience. Our guest today is Michael Brown. Michael is an author and a public speaker. He also has experience as a journalist, a columnist, and a magazine editor. He was born in South Africa, and he lives there currently. In 1987, he developed an acutely painful neurological condition known as Horton's syndrome. After years of conventional and alternative therapies, Michael embarked on a personal quest to heal his condition using his own experience as a barometer and a guide. His studies have included Swedish massage, Reiki therapy, rebirthing, and shamanism. His healing discoveries and his spiritual awakening led him to write The Presence Process, a healing journey into present moment awareness. Michael Brown, welcome back to The Defining Moment. It's always a pleasure to have you here in our studio.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Our topic today is the heartfelt joy in knowing God. And I'd like to begin by asking you to share a defining moment from your own life which was instrumental in you becoming who you are today.
This moment is related to the pain that you spoke about in the introduction, that I went through years of this pain. And then the pain led me into a journey of discovering, for example, the pathway of awareness and the procedure which I discussed in the book, and all the tools that came to me through an attempt to resolve this painful condition. And I got to a point where I integrated the pain and I was pain-free. And in that experience, I learned about the emotional body, and I learned about what joy was, and that joy is not an emotion. When we are striving for happiness, when we want something to happen, and at the same time are trying to stop something else from happening, even though we're not aware that which is our discomfort in our emotional body. So happiness is about something happening. That's why it's happiness, happeningness. When I'm trying to make something happen and I'm running away from something, then I also think that when I hear the word joy, that it is an emotional state. It's a state that feels good. But what I learned as I went through this work is that joy is not an emotion. It can be like love. It can be expressed emotionally. It can be expressed mentally. It can be expressed in physical circumstances. But that joy is not an emotion. Joy is a relationship that I have with my emotional body. A relationship in which I understand the importance of all my feelings, and I allow them all in the moment, because they are all important in developing a vocabulary for my emotional body that enables me to perceive what God is, the vibrational. So yes, I learned all this, I went through all of this, these experiences that showed me this, and then one day the pain came back, the original pain.
After how long?
It was after quite a few years. When the pain came back, of course my initial reaction was, everything I've done has been wrong. I've misled myself. I'm the chief of self-deception, because the pain is back. If everything I knew to be true was true, and everything that I'm teaching is true, then there should be no pain back, But what I realized was that the pain was the ultimate way for me to find out if I really could be in joy. Could I have a relationship with my emotional body? Because when the pain came, it brought up all sorts of fear, anger, all sorts of things came up. Could I allow myself to remain in the moment and not run away from the moment, even though the pain had come back? And so the pain was a defining moment in showing me that everything about my experience is what God is to me. Everything about my experience is what God is, especially in the feeling realm. All the feelings are necessary. There isn't a feeling that I should shut out and a feeling that I should keep in, a feeling that I should go for and aim for, and a feeling that I should run away from. That is in search of happiness, which creates great unhappiness. The pursuit of happiness creates nothing but a culture of unhappiness.
Exactly.
Joy, on the other hand, is entering a state in which I'm open to all feelings, knowing that they all have a place in my experience and a place in deepening my experience. So one could say that the momentary return of that pain was a defining moment, because it enabled me to put my my insights and my tools really to the test and see, can I go through this, or am I going to push it away, or am I going to have a judgment? You know, what am I going to do with this? And going through the pain, which lasted a couple of months, it stayed there until I really got that. The moment I really got that, it was
disappeared.
It was not necessary.
And I understand.
Not necessary.
So it had a purpose.
Absolutely. Deliberate.
Very interesting. Now, what do you mean by the term felt perception experience? And what does that have to do with the normal human tendency of avoiding inner discomfort?
We don't have felt perception because of our discomfort, because we are avoiding our discomfort. Our discomfort is the doorway that we have to walk through in order to reawaken felt perception. Felt perception is that I'm able to feel the consequences of my thoughts, words, and deeds before I even put them into play. And that's functioning from the heart center. So, for example, if I say something that's hurtful about somebody, or even think something hurtful about somebody, I feel that hurt. That's what felt perception is. And through felt perception, it's the same as saying, where there is love, there is no law. Felt perception is what enables me to feel the consequences of my presence in this world, whether my presence is being expressed through thoughts, words, and deeds. The reason I don't have felt perception is because I am suppressing the stuff in my emotional body, my fear, anger, and grief. I've developed behaviors of sedation and control and addiction. Addiction is a beautiful word, addiction, because what does diction mean? Diction is the way we speak, right? And when I'm unable to speak authentically, and because I'm unable to express myself authentically, I add something to my behavior to make up for that. I add to my addiction. Whether I add a drug addict, or increased sexual behavior, or overworking, or whatever it is, all these behaviors are done because there is discomfort in the emotional body that I'm yet not ready to integrate. I don't have the tools to work with. So instead of working with the discomfort, I mask it in some way. By masking it, I'm not allowing myself to feel what's really going on. And if I don't allow myself to feel what's really going on, I cannot develop felt perception. So the one is dependent on the other.
So then the very key to liberating oneself is to actually enter into that door that's being presented by the very suffering that a person's experiencing.
The suffering is the key to greater awareness, not adding suffering. I don't have to go and add suffering to my life to become aware. That to me is a misinterpretation of the texts that say suffering is necessary to know God. There is suffering. The only suffering that's necessary to become aware of is the suffering that's already in my heart center. For example, the crucifixion is a fantastic metaphor of that. And that to me, when I look at something like the crucifixion, I look at it through the eyes of the emotional body, not the physical actual crucifixion or the mental concept of what happened, the judgment and the blame. I look at it through the emotional body. So, when I realize there is nothing that I can do to change my situation, no doing, no addiction, no busyness, no doing can stop what's going on in my emotional body, because the only thing that can bring it to balance is to feel it, then I might as well have to have my hands nailed down, right? And when I realize that there is nowhere in this earth that I can go to resolve my condition, that only by staying in the moment I am in and being honoring that moment can I return to balance, then I might as well hammer my feet down, right? So there I am, okay? I'm now crucified by the realization that I have to get real with my own feeling body in order to heal. And if I struggle with that, that creates more suffering unnecessarily.
That's reacting.
Yes. Someone actually gave me a new understanding of suffering recently. They said that we have pain and discomfort, which are our jewels. The pain and discomfort are telling us where the jewels are. Our suffering is caused by resisting that, by resisting our pain and discomfort. There's greater pain in resisting the pain than embracing the pain. A lot of our pain is trying to resist the pain. So for me, It's an understanding that I need to get to a place where I realize there's nothing to do that can mask my suffering. There's nowhere I can go to mask my suffering. It's actually about coming into the moment and feeling this moment as it is, and getting real with that. That's the doorway into authenticity.
Okay, very interesting, very, very powerful, very profound what you're saying. Thank you very much for that. Now, you've also said that God is known through heart. Do you mean to say that the most direct access to knowing God is through our feelings?
I would say it's the initial experiential encounter is through the feeling body. It's through the feeling body. So, if I'm sitting and I'm doing a meditation, feeling the presence is what makes it a profound meditation for me. Feeling the presence. If I don't have any feeling, I can justify mentally that there is no such thing as a God. I can discuss God all I want. I can also do physical circumstances like go to different places to try and know God, go to different sacred sites, do different physical ceremonies and all these things. But even if you go and speak to, for example, a serious Buddhist, devout Buddhist, that Buddhist will tell you that all the ding, 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 the dress, the ritual, the ceremony is what it takes to ground the feeling of God. So all those things are done to get the feeling. So in many ways, even the word God is so emotionally charged and has so much ideology around it that it's a difficult word. So for me, I prefer the word vibrational, because vibrational gives me a sense of what it is. It's something that I can begin to feel. And when I develop a greater sense of it, I may be able to see that vibration and hear it. So the three ways of interacting with God in my journey are, first, to be able to feel it, which is opening of my heart. And then at some point, when that language is developed enough, I have absolute faith in my process that I will be able to see it and hear it too. In other words, sound and light are the same vibration. They're all vibrations. Feeling it, seeing it, hearing it are all different ways of interacting with the vibrational realm. And that's the trinity that I need to have in place in order to actually have a direct experience of God. So it's the same as saying, I can ask you to go and do some research on roller coasters. And I can send you off to go and research and go and watch a roller coaster, all right? And you go and watch the whole ride, and you come back and tell me about it, okay? And some of us have a relationship with God that's like that, okay? We watch particular activities, we see people doing specific rituals, and we go, well, that's what God's about. Or you can go and read a book written by an engineer on roller coasters, okay? All the knowledge about roller coasters, and come back and tell me about roller coasters. And some of us have that interaction with God too, which is we have a very mental interaction. Oh, I understand God, and I understand oneness and unity consciousness and all these concepts, okay? Or you can get on the roller coaster and have a ride. You don't even need the book. You don't even have to watch what's going on. You can just feel the ride, right? That person will have a more direct experience of a roller coaster than the one watching it or the one
reading about it.
Yes, and for me, the direct experience requires feeling component. Because really, when you get off the roller coaster, okay, it's the way it made you feel, right? Okay,
Yes.
And so my first interaction with God is the way whatever that experience enables me to feel. And if I haven't developed my emotional body, if I've suppressed my emotional body, then how do I even begin to have that experiential encounter with what God is for me?
Okay. Now, you've also said that a lot of so-called spiritual work that integrates mind and spirit and body is often missing an essential component.
Well, that essential component is the feeling. That's why we have the you'll see that there's a lot of body, mind, and spirit organizations. In other words, the physical, the mental, and the vibrational. And there's a missing, the emotional component is missing.
Another word you use for that is heart, I believe.
Yes, yes. So you know, in an integrative perception, you would say our organization is a body, mind, heart, and spirit organization. Mm-hmm. But when we haven't dealt with our own matters of the heart, we will unconsciously avoid bringing up the heart. Mm-hmm. So it's often a missing component. And if the heart isn't integrated, all right, it's like a snake. It'll come back and bite us when we're least aware. So, for example, you may have powerful vibrational experiences and have vibrational awareness. But if the heart isn't integrated, at some point you're going to have to revisit that. For example, the guru who has an affair with the disciples, who gets sexually involved with the disciples on the quiet, is someone who hasn't resolved the need and want related to their relationship with their mother. Even though they're now the guru, they're having a relationship. Why? Why is that happening? Or the guru who goes and who amasses a fortune and goes, and money becomes important. And even though they have this, what is missing in that? It's the heart hasn't come back into balance, hasn't been brought into balance. That step is being missed out. And that's what's happened to us. We've come out of a very mental place. And so even if you read a lot of the teachings that have been written over the last 100 years, many of them don't talk about the heart. They talk about the physical requirements, the mental concepts about the different realms and things like that, and the physical practice, and then the spiritual accomplishment that's supposed to happen. But the heart situation is being left out. And the reason for that is because we are only now entering emotional body awareness. It's only now, in this moment, the present moment, that we start to perceive the role of the heart. It's time for us to get to what's called the heart of the matter.
The heart of the matter.
The heart of the matter.
Excellent. Yeah. So, you know, we've heard love, God being described as a being of love, a God of love. So then you could say that, well, you can imagine God as a being of heart. Yes,
love is expressed in the heart, the same as love is expressed mentally, and the same as love is expressed physically. But what love is neither. It's expressed in those things. It's the same as God is expressed in every aspect of this world, but what God is not this world, because this world is not permanent. The way that I express my love for you is allowing you to evolve. That's so, and that's what love is for me. I can express it emotionally and have great feelings for you. I can express it mentally and tell you how much I love you. And I can express it physically by doing physically loving things for you. But really, for me, love is the ability to allow another to evolve along their own path without any interference. That's what love is.
And essentially, God gives us that kind of freedom, no? As a parent. If we're his children.
That's why we get into all sorts of trouble.
All kinds of trouble. Yes.
But it's all good trouble.
And I think it started a long time ago.
Yes, yes.
Okay, what do authenticity, integrity, and intimacy have to do with heart?
Okay. So that's the trinity of the journey that I'm on, of the journey of present moment awareness and the journey of awakening emotional body awareness. Authenticity is returning to, is enabling myself to be in this moment without all the conditioning that came from the experience that brought me here. So all the childhood conditioning, all of that stuff where my energies were blocked and obstructed, and resolving those so that I can be here as I am without stuff going on. So that really is simply to be the author of my experience. Right?
Okay.
Integrity, and these are all interwoven with each other. Integrity relates to seeing the emotional body as the causal point. Restoring balance in the emotional body so that my mental state reflects the emotional body and that the physical state reflects the emotional body. So that the structures, the different bodies are in balance with each other. And a simple way to say that is that my thoughts, words, and deeds are in line with each other. So my thoughts, my words, and my deeds all reflect the same state or the same truth or the same state of being. The why that wouldn't be so is if I have unconscious stuff going on in my emotional body that I'm not even aware of, and therefore my thoughts and my deeds may not not even be, I may think one thing and behave in another way. I may say one thing and do another. This is when I'm out of integrity. Integrity for me means structure, that my structure is sound. If this building has integrity, it's the structure. Is this building have integrity? Is it a sound structure? So integrity for me starts with entering the emotional body and bringing that into a state of awareness, and that will be reflected into the mental body and the physical. Forcing a certain behavior on the physical body doesn't guarantee integrity if the causal point is the emotional.
So it has to come from within.
Yes, and that will just be control or sedation if I'm trying to force the physical body to behave like the mental body, which is often what we do when we enter spirituality and we think this is what spirituality is, now I'm going to force this behavior on myself, but meanwhile my emotional body is doing something else. So that's what integrity is about. Intimacy is what the word says. Intimacy. Intimacy. So intimacy is to be able to enter a relationship with every aspect of my experience that enables me to see deeper into myself.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm having an intimate relationship with another human being, that is really enabling me to have a deeper relationship with myself. If I'm having an intimate relationship with the elements, with the nature, with the weather, that is going to tell me something about myself. It's not separated from me. So they're all dependent on each other. The authenticity, intimacy, and integrity. That's the sort of trinity for me of the heart work and of the journey of present moment awareness.
Okay, now that's beautiful. And you mentioned the part about the emotional body.
Yes.
And starting with that.
Yes.
Can you say more about how you do that?
In every moment, to be aware of what the emotional signature is underlying the experience I'm having. So let's say this interview, right? Come in here and sit down and do this interview, and I feel uncomfortable. Do I respond to that discomfort by changing the furniture around? Do I respond to that discomfort by talking about it? Or do I respond to that discomfort by feeling what's going on with me? Right? Sinking into my feeling body and allowing myself to feel that. Because if I do that, what I will realize is the discomfort I'm feeling, although I may perceive it as a physical situation or mental concepts, the discomfort itself is trying to bring me into this moment. It's just my body, my emotional body's way of saying, we're going to do an interview, it's time to show up. You're a little bit distracted, you're not really here, so what I'm going to do is bring you here. So I will rather take a look at the emotional signature underlying. Once I'm there and that comes to peace, well, once I'm at peace in the situation, I'm not going to mentally try and justify anything that's going on or change it or analyze it, nor am I going to physically rearrange this room. I'm at peace. It's fine just as it is. That's real justice, just as it is. When I bring peace to my emotional body, then I enter then I experience real justice. I see this world and experience this world just as it is, and then I enter peace.
Fascinating. Okay, thank you so much. What roles do appreciation and gratitude play in developing a meaningful and nurturing relationship with God?
Appreciation is a double-edged word. Appreciation means gratitude. I appreciate something because I'm grateful for it. But also if I have stocks and shares and they appreciate, it means they become more. So appreciation also has the word create in it. If you look at the word appreciate, it has the word create. It's a creative tool. Whatever we most appreciate is what we most experience. It's what grows. Whatever I appreciate grows in my life. If I talk about crime, think about crime, speak about crime, read about crime, watch crime, crime grows in my experience. Why? Because I appreciate crime. Appreciation is a neutral word. It's not an emotionally charged word. What I most put attention to is what I most appreciate. If I'm pushing this experience I'm having now away, if, for example, I go and join a path that's completely out of my life experience, completely foreign to my life experience, in order to get away from what's happening, I'm approaching God as a reaction to my life. I'm not appreciating my life. I'm approaching God as a point of reaction. Nothing comes of reaction. It's really meaningful. So if a parent gives the child some money and the child goes, I don't want this, I want something else. The child doesn't appreciate the money. The parent doesn't give the child any more money because it can't appreciate it. We'll still try and take care of the child. If the parent gives the child some money and the child appreciates it, makes it more, the parent will give the child more and more until the parent gives it everything. If I am numb to my emotional condition and therefore cannot appreciate this moment that I'm in, I can't, no more can be given to me. I can't come to the point of realization that this life given to me is the spiritual experience I'm after, that God is trying to give me. But the moment I can appreciate this, in other words, I can put attention on this as it is and be grateful for it, it becomes more, it becomes deeper and deeper. And that's when I come to the awareness that the spiritual experience I'm really seeking is this moment I'm in, is this life that I have, is the life that I was given by my parent.
Okay, excellent. And just a last question, what is boredom a symptom of?
Boredom is a symptom of not being able to feel. It's a symptom of not being able to feel. Boredom happens when I cannot perceive this moment for what it is, and when I think something else is supposed to be going on. So boredom, bottom line, is a symptom of lack of presence. A lack of presence. There is no more profound moment for me than the one I'm in now. If I allow myself to feel that and experience that, there is no ways that boredom can even creep in. When I was riding from the airport and I was talking to this girl in the shuttle, and she said, well, what do what's going on with you? And I said, well, I'm in the shuttle now. While in the shuttle, be in the shuttle. I'm enjoying myself, because she was going, oh, this is taking a long time. And so I said, well, I gave up hurrying because it always made me late. So what I do is now, when I'm in the shuttle, be in the shuttle. Really be here. I'm having a conversation with you. I'm looking at the scenery. How can I be bored? How can I be wanting to be somewhere else? And part of present moment awareness is realizing that this is supposed to be happening. So this is not a means to something else. This is supposed to be happening now. If I take care of this, when I get to the next thing that's happening, it'll also just be this.
You'll be there for that as well.
Absolutely, and there will be no boredom in that. Then I'm in the kingdom, because it's either the kingdom or the boredom.
Okay. Well, on that note, I want to thank you so much, Michael, for once again being our guest in the Defining Moment. You're sharing your wisdom and your insights with us. It's really valuable. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been a great pleasure being here.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. God bless you. You've been watching The Defining Moment for Creating the Culture of Conscience. You can find us on the internet at www.definingmoment.tv. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.